Tutorial 1, Step 2. Connections to other components. Your temperature regulator component will need to interface to the orange temperature input component and to the blue digital output component. In this case, two connectors are required, one for the temperature and one for the output. A connector is used to communicate with other components. The connector is created to be connected to a specific interface, which can be a subcomponent, component, or device type. Via this connector, the external interface can be accessed. Right-click on Connections to External Components. Add a connector to the component of type Digital Output Base, which is a basis for more output types. Rename it to Output. To create a connection to a temperature component, right-click on Connections to External Components. Add connector to component of type Temperature Input Base. Rename it to Temperature. Please remark that naming is very important to ease both the programming and readability now and later on. Register. The data in a component is encapsulated by default, meaning it is inaccessible to everything outside the component they belong to. We can change this for our variables set point data and actual temperature data by using register subcomponents. Then they can be used in visualization and other components. This is done by adding a register and assigning it to the set point data. The register is part of the component interface and can be accessed from outside this component. Assigning set point data to the register means the set point data is accessible from outside the component, and the data is as such, not private anymore. The same for the actual temperature data. Add a register. Right-click on the subcomponent section of your component and select Add. Then double-click the type register. Change the name of the new register to setPoint. The R icon indicates a register. Right-click on the register and click Assign Data field to the register subcomponent. Select setPoint data as the register variable. Now the D icon has changed color to dark green from light green. Also, the register icon turned light blue from red, indicating that the register has a data field assigned to it. Thus, the icons show useful information. However, they do not show which data fields and registers are connected, which can make more complex projects harder to grasp. For this reason, good naming practices are important. Notice that the register and its assigned variable have the same name, except the variable has underscore data added to its name. This way it is easy to see the relation between a register and its assigned data. Now, the visualization needs to know the value range. This is used to calculate the number of digits to show. The maximum value and the minimum value are set according to the possible values of the variable. In this case, the maximum value is set to 100 and the minimum value to 0. The visualization is using alarm limit high and alarm limit low to indicate that the value is outside the accepted limits, by showing a red line around the digits. The editor automatically adds the unit from your selected local unit relation table belonging to the selected quantity. An operator has one or more functions in a company. For each register, it is defined which operator group, or function, the operator needs, in order to read and/or write to the data. Get is reading the data, and set is writing to the data. Default is get and set allowed for all functions. In this case, leave this unchanged. Add the next register. Then create another register with the name actual temperature for the variable actual temperature data. Right-click on the subcomponents section of your component and select Add. Then double-click the type register. Change the name of the new register to actual temperature. Right-click on the register and click Assign Data field to the register subcomponent. Select actual temperature data as the register variable. Set the maximum value to 100 and the minimum value to 0. Set the alarm limit high to 40 and alarm limit low to 10. Enable Get and Disable Set for all operator functions. This tells the view that this variable is read-only, and nobody can change the data from the visualization. The group of externally accessible data and methods is called an interface. Add a timer. The regulation method must be called with a specified interval. For this, a timer is used. Add timer subcomponent to the subcomponents section. The timer has an icon with an eye inside, indicating an interface to the firmware. More about that later on. Change the name to timer. Click on the timer. Read the usage for a timer subcomponent by selecting the methods and reading the documentation to the right of the VIGO6 navigation tree.